Moving day, my bed collapsed. The culprit is. On my first day in the new apartment, my bed collapsed. The culprit was my younger brother who practices Santa. He did a backflip on my brand minus new double bed, and with a loud crack, the frame broke completely. Furious at the mess, I shook, opened WeChat and clicked on my pinned contact pane minus, in minus the minus neck brother, sending a voice message: you broke the bed. Someone has to fix it tonight. Or I can't sleep. Get over here with your tools. I went to take a shower. When I came out drying my hair, a reply glowed on the screen, just 2 words. I see enough to send chills down my spine. Open the door. I froze, staring at the black profile picture. The note was not brother. It was Guyan Lee, my ex-boyfriend, the top surgical genius who had broken up with me 2 years ago, who was said to be engaged to a wealthy heiress, completely out of my league. Oh no, it sent it to the wrong person. The doorbell rang urgently. I wrapped myself tightly in my silk robe, and before I could think of an explanation, I opened the door. Standing outside was a man in an expensive tailored black suit, his tie loosened, revealing a strong rolling Adam's apple. That abstinent face often seen on medical journal covers was dark with fury, and he was actually holding a toolbox. Dude, drive. Goo. I tried to slam the door shut. Hey, Large, can you see Kayan stopped it? Guyan Lee didn't leave. He stepped forward, surrounding me with the faint smell of disinfectant and tobacco, trapping me in his shadow. He looked down, his gaze like a scalpel sweeping over my half-minus dry hair, finally resting on my slightly open collar. His voice was rough, suppressing rage. What? That man broke your bed and left you to fix it alone? My mind went blank. He had not only heard the message but completely misunderstood what broke the bed meant. It's not what you think, I tried to explain. Guyan Lee didn't listen. He slipped past me into the entryway, moving as naturally as if these 2 years apart had never happened. Then he froze. On the floor were 2 pairs of size 40 for limited minus edition sneakers. On the shoe cabinet lay a sweaty men's basketball jersey. Blin, yes. Guyan Lee stared at the shoes. His back tensed visibly, his knuckles whitening around the toolbox, veins popping on his hand. The air went deadly silent. After 10 long seconds, he turned back, the corners of his eyes weirdly red. Is he here? His voice was soft like a doctor's question, but terrifying. Shook my head. He just left. He messed up and ran to the internet cafe. Guyan Lee let out a short, bitter laugh, full of self-mockery. Left. And you called me right away? He slammed the toolbox down and advanced on me, his eyes wild. Lin Ting. What do you take me for? A backup he used up? I handyman to clean up his mess. I stepped back, defensive and stubborn. Drive. Goo. You came on your own. If you don't want to fix it, leave. I can find someone else. Someone else? That phrase struck a nerve. Guyan Lee grabbed my waist and lifted me against the cold wall. His familiar scent overwhelmed me. Who else? I use this brute. What does he know except using force? I stared at him, shocked. This was not the cold, reserved Guyan Lee who used to turn off the lights during intimacy and hated speaking extra words. Let me go, I pushed his chest. Guyan Lee didn't move. He looked into my eyes, his voice suddenly softening, almost pleading. He buried his face in my neck, like a dying animal seeking comfort. Heck, I can fix it better than him, and after. You can test me. Okay? I let him fix it anyway. When Guyan Lee got like this, you couldn't do anything but go along. I never imagined that the heir of the powerful Gu family, the youngest chief surgeon at the City Est Op Hospital, would be kneeling on my bedroom floor, sleeves rolled up, tightening screws. He worked carefully, just like when he stitched my wounds years ago. But his face stayed dark, his gaze flicking repeatedly to the men's dumbbells and jerseys in the corner. Each time he looked, he twisted the screws harder. I sat by the bay window drinking red wine, watching him hold back his frustration and humiliation. A strange satisfaction rose in me after all. HED dumped me so coldly 2 years ago, saying I was too clingy. Done. Half an hour later, Guyan Li stood up and brushed off his hands. He pressed the mattress, then turned, his deep, beautiful eyes fixed on me. Try it? I set down my glass, sat down, and teased it's okay. Barely usable. Before I finished speaking, my wrist was grabbed. The world spun, and I was pinned onto the new bed. The mattress creaked, but didn't break. It was solid. Guyan leaned out beside me, looking down. He slowly unbuttoned his second button, revealing pale, cold skin. Linting, he said, like he was biting the words into pieces. This bed. Besides him. I'm the first one at it, right? I laughed angrily at his absurd possessiveness. Guyan Li, be reasonable. We broke up. Who I sleep with has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you? He chuckled, his finger brushing my lips, eyes dark. Nothing to do with you. And you sent me that message? Nothing to do with you? And you opened the door? Linting? Your body is more honest than your mouth. He lowered his head, his cool lips about to meet mine. Just then, the phone on the headboard buzzed violently. The screen lit up, and the message burned into both our eyes. Suya. Brother Yan Li, were you at her place tonight? Miss Lin, your place. We're getting engaged next month. Pierre froze. Guyan Li stopped. I pushed him away, picked up the phone, and laughed coldly, waving it at him. Doctor, ooh, your fiancé is checking up on you. I think you need to learn shame more than I do. I expected him to panic, explain, or at least feel embarrassed. But Guyan Li only glanced at the screen calmly, not even frowning. He let me go, sat up, and straightened his messy shirt, his voice cold as if talking about a stranger. I never agreed to the engagement. That's my family's doing, not mine. It's not my business. I straightened my robe and ordered, the bed is fixed. You can leave now. Don't let your fiancé think him some seductress. Guyan Li didn't move. He sat on the bed, pulled out a cigarette, then remembered I hated smoke and crushed it angrily in his palm. Just not my fiancé, he said quietly. It's my father's wish. Oh, I replied dismissively. Tell her that, not me. Guyan Li looked up sharply, his eyes bloodshot. Linting, do you really think that man is cleaner? Better than me? Who is he? He can't even afford a decent bed, and he leaves you to fix his mistakes. What's so great about some brute who only uses force? I held back a smile and said coldly, at least he doesn't have a crazy sister harassing me. Guyan Li fell silent. After a long while, he stood up and walked toward me. He was a head taller than me, but now he bent over, humble as dust. If I get rid of all those people, if I keep them away from you, can you get rid of him? He nodded at the sneakers, his voice almost begging. Or I don't mind if you keep him. Just don't make me leave. I can be the one who stays hidden. I was completely stunned. Guyan Li, the proud genius doctor, the untouchable flower of high society, was willing to be the other man because of a misunderstanding. It was too much to process. When I finally sent Guyan Li away, he looked like a heartbroken toy boy discarded by a rich woman. Before leaving, he even picked up Linya's smelly socks from the sofa, threw them away, tied up the trash bag, and took it with him. Men with no hygiene carry bacteria, he said coldly. Then he carried the garbage and drove away in his Maybach. I stood by the window and burst out laughing. If Guyan Li knew that his rival was just my college brother who only ever said sis, send me $500, he'd probably have a heart attack on the spot. And with Su Yao causing trouble, how could I not let Guyan Li suffer a little to make up for the past 2 years? Sure enough, the next morning, I was blocked downstairs at work. So Yao wore luxury clothes, delicate makeup, carried a thermos, and had two bodyguards in black suits. She was making a huge scene. Linting, was Brother Yan Li at your place last night? She walked toward me in high heels, chin up. It was rush hour, and the lobby was packed. Her shout drew everyone's attention. I crossed my arms, smiling faintly. Miss Su, if you can't control your man, put a GPS on him. Don't bite people like a mad dog. How dare you? Su Yao's face twisted, and her eyes instantly turned red. She turned to the crowd, pretending to be a victim. Everyone, judge for yourselves. This gold-minus digger was dumped by brother Yin Li 2 years ago. Now HES successful and we're engaged. She comes crawling back. She tricked him into staying over. I only brought him soup. What did I do wrong? The crowd murmured, taking her side. Su Yao glanced at me triumphantly and whispered, "Leave the city if you know what's good for you. Mr. Gu only accepts me as his daughter minus and minus law. Someone like you isn't even fit to clean our shoes." I smiled at her performance. 2 years ago, she and Gu Yanli's mother had teamed up to humiliate me, write me checks, and force me to break up. Back then I was naive. Now the old Lin Ting was back. "Nice acting, Miss Su." I took out my phone, pulled up last night's chat, and cast it directly onto the lobby's big screen. I was the creative director of the advertising company. I had that authority. The words blared across the screen. "Guyan Li, don't call anyone else. I can fix it better than him. After, you can test me. Okay?" The lobby erupted. Su Yao turned pale as paper. "This is fake. Brother Yan Li would never say that." "Ask him if it's fake," I said, stepping closer. "See clearly. I'm not chasing him. HES begging to come to my bed like a dog. If you're so tough, keep him on a leash so he doesn't show up at my door in the middle of the night with a toolbox." Su Yao flew into a rage and raised her hand to slap me. I prepared to block her, but a long, strong hand shot out and grabbed her wrist tightly. A cool voice came from behind her. "Who are you going to hit?" It was Gu Yan Li. So yeah, I turned around happily. "Brother Yan Li, you're just in time." This woman. Before she could finish, Gu Yan Li shoved her away. She stumbled in her heels and nearly fell. Gu Yan Li didn't even glance at her. He walked straight to me. Today he wore a silver minus gray suit and gold minus rimmed glasses, the perfect image of a refined robe. But behind the lenses, his eyes raged with emotion. I cowled and tread. He looked at me, then at the humiliating message on the screen. He didn't get angry. He didn't yell. He just looked at me deeply, then turned to the pale Su Yao in the stunned crowd. His voice quiet but firm. "Since everyone has seen this, I'll make it clear. Su Yao is not my fiancé. The Gu family has never agreed to this marriage. Apart from knowing each other, we have no relationship." Su Yao trembled, tears streaming down her face. "Brother Yan Li, how could you do this to me, for this woman? You're throwing away our family's friendship." "Friendship?" Gu Yan Li laughed coldly. "Did you think about our friendship when you harassed her and slandered her in public?" He ignored Su Yao's trembling figure and turned back to me. In front of hundreds of people, the proud, untouchable drive, Gu actually bowed his head, reached out, and gently tugged at my sleeve. It was an almost cringy, pleading gesture. "Since everyone knows now, can you give me a title?" I froze. "What title?" Gu Yan Li pointed at the screen, his eyes red, determined. "I've already admitted him the one chasing you. Anything he can give you, we'll double it. You won't wash dishes? He'll wash them. He won't fix the bed? He'll fix it. Just don't make me leave. I don't mind being the second one." The lobby went completely silent. Su Yao rolled her eyes and fainted on the spot. After that scene, Gu Yanli's reputation as willing to be the other man for love spread like wildfire. The company gossiped, and even Gu Group's stock wavered. Grandpa Gu was so angry, he smashed 3 sets of purple clay teapots, ordering Gu Yanli to come home and explain that night. Meanwhile, I sat in a private luxury restaurant, facing my current boyfriend, my actual younger brother, Lin Yi, who just got back from the internet cafe, completely confused. "Sis, you're famous?" Lin Yi said, eating ribs and scrolling his phone. "Everyone is guessing who this mystery guy is who made you dump Gu Yanli. Some say Middle Eastern prince. Some say a newly returned movie star." I rolled my eyes. "Eat your food." "Sis, are you really not going to tell Drive?" "Gu, it's a misunderstanding." Lenny grinned. "I think he really likes you. He even threw my trash away last night, though he looked like he wanted to kill me. He deserves it, I said, sipping tea, but my heart was confused. Gu Yanli's reaction today had exceeded all my expectations. He wasn't angry or ashamed. HED admitted everything publicly, humbled himself, humiliated Su Yao, and even trampled his own pride to protect me. Just then, the private room door slammed open. Gu Yanli strode in, looking exhausted. HED obviously rushed over from the hospital or the Gu mansion, his hair messy, tie gone, collar open. The second he saw Lin Yi, his hand froze mid-minus-air, about to pull out a chair. The atmosphere in the room plummeted to freezing point. Lin Yi still had a rib in his mouth, frozen in his seat, feeling a murderous aura. Gu Yanli's eyes swept over Lin Yi's messy dyed hair, his SpongeBob T- shirt, and finally landed on me. A mocking smile tugged at his lips. This is your live-him boyfriend? Interesting taste. His words were sarcastic, but I saw his hand at his side shaking violently, jealousy, rage, and helplessness. Lin Yi swallowed hard and tried to explain. Bro, actually, Shut up, Gu Yanli snapped. He strode over, pulled out the chair next to me, and sat down, firmly separating me from Lin Yi. He pulled a black card and a car key from his inner pocket and slammed them on the table. What's this? I raised an eyebrow. Gu Yanli didn't look at me. He stared at Lin Yi, his eyes dark and murderous. This card is no limit. Password is your birthday. The car is a new limited minus edition sports car. He nodded at Lin Yi, cold and arrogant, like he was making a humiliating deal. Take these and leave her forever. Lin Yi stared blankly. So did I. Gu Yanli took a deep breath and turned to me, his eyes red. Under the table, he grabbed my hand so tightly I thought he'd break it. Lin Ting, if you're keeping him for money, I'm richer than him. If you like him because he's young, he gritted his teeth, as if in terrible pain. I'm only 28. My stamina is no worse than his. Dump him. He'll be yours, okay? The room was eerily quiet. Only the soft sound of the black card landing on the table. Lin Yi looked at the card, then the key, then me. Swallowing hard. He was clearly stunned by the sudden wealth. This is this. Okay, is Drive Dubai love? Gu Yanli stared at him as if he were an insect. Not enough? I'll add a downtown apartment. Just move out tonight and disappear. I almost spit out my tea. Gu Yanli was really spending a fortune to eliminate his rival. I set down my tea and smiled at Lin Yi. Since Drive Gu is being so generous, take it. Not many people are this devoted and dumb. Lin Yi's eyes lit up. He immediately stuffed the card and key into his pocket, scared Gu Yanli would change his mind. Thanks, bro. You're my real brother. Gu Yanli's face turned darker. He probably found it insulting that this boy happily took the money. Take the money and leave, Gu Yanli snarled. On my way, Lin Yi stood up. I suddenly placed a hand on his shoulder. Wait, Gu Yanli whipped his head toward me, hurt. Ting Ting, you can't still want him? I calmly placed a braised pork rib on Lin Yi's plate and smiled at Gu Yanli, who said he has to leave, since Drive. Gu is so sincere. Why don't we all eat together, after all? I dragged out my voice, looking between the two men. I should compare you too. Who has better stamina? Who's more obedient? Gu Yanli's eyes widened in shock. He never imagined I'd say something like that in front of him, but he held back his anger. He took a deep breath, forced down his rage, and pulled out a chair next to me. Fine, he said hoarsely. Let's compare. The next half hour was Lin Yi's peak in life and Gu Yanli's darkest hour. Lin Yi wanted shrimp. Gu Yanli put on gloves, peeled one, and placed it in my bowl, glaring coldly at Lin Yi. No hands? Lin Yi jumped. Why minus yes? I wanted soup. Gu Yanli immediately served it, blew it cool, and fed me, his eyes tender. Then he turned to Lin Yi. I see, what are you looking at? Never seen someone being taken care of? Lin Yi ate silently, not daring to look up. The meal was a minefield of tension. Gu Yanli spent the whole time proving I may be late, but I'm more devoted than him. Just as Gu Yanli was about to peel my third crab and glare Lin Yi to death for the 10-1,000th time, the private room door crashed open. Gynli. Sire. Dtre. A sharp scream pierced the air. A middle-aged lady in a kippah stormed in, well dressed but furious. Behind her was tearful Su Yao and the persistent Gu butler. It was Mrs. Gu Yanli's mother. Su Yao had brought back up. Gu Yanli frowned, still holding the crab, instinctively stepping in front of me. What are you doing here? What am I doing here? If I didn't come, you'd ruin the Gu family's reputation completely. Mrs. Gu trembled with anger, pointing at him and to me. Su Yao told me everything. You said in public you'd be the other man? Gu Yanli, are you possessed?